Good evening, all of you students. Today, I want to discuss some more problems in collisions. These are useful for advance also. So you see the first problem. The first problem is displayed on the board. You see, two blocks of masses 2Ks and Mks are rest on an inclined plane and are separated by a distance of 6 meters as shown. The coefficient of friction between each block and the inclined plane is 0.25. Okay, here you see, here in this diagram, you see, here there are two blocks having masses M1 and M2. Suppose this is say M1, this is M1, and say this is M2. Okay, these two blocks are separated by a certain distance, 6 meters. Okay, next here the coefficient of friction between these two coefficient of friction between the blocks and the inclined plane, that is given as mu. So here also mu, same. So here mass of the two bodies are given as, you see, so M1 is equal to the mass of the first block is 2Ks. Okay, and M2 is not given. M2 we had to find, that is equal to capital M, which is equal to question mark. Here coefficient of friction between the blocks and the inclined surface, that is also given, that is equal to mu is equal to 0.25 is given, 0.25. The separation between the two blocks is equal to 6 meters given, of course. The coefficient of static friction, okay, we have noted. Now the 2Ks block is given a velocity 10 meters per second up the inclined plane. So here 2Ks mass, here this 2Ks mass is given a velocity. In this direction, it is given a velocity, say u, that u is equal to 10 meters per second is given. That is u is equal to 10 meters per second, yeah, 10 meters. 10 meters per second is given in upward direction, and this is at rest initially. The block M is at rest initially. So initially, whenever the 2Ks block is projected up, the 2Ks block is projected up. You see here in case of course, so here this is the inclined plane, of course. Here there are two blocks. There are two blocks. Okay. So here there are two blocks are kept over the inclined surface. I am discussing about the only first block. First block of mass M1 is equal to 2Ks. I am talking about that mass only. Here you see, whenever the first block moving with a velocity 10 meters per second upwards, here M1 is equal to 2Ks. Initially, it is moving with a velocity u is equal to 10 meters per second is given, 10 meters per second. But here, whenever the block is moving upwards, okay, then in backward direction, the friction F1 acts in backward direction, and at the same time, the weight component, already we know mg sin theta acts in this direction. And suppose actually we know weight mg acts vertically downwards direction. No? If angle of inclination is theta, then this angle is also theta. We know this angle is theta. That's why this component is equal to mg cos theta. This component is mg sin theta. So totally, whenever the block M1 moving upwards, then mg sin theta and F1 both acts on the block in downwards direction. So these two force, sum of these two, friction and weight component, acts as the retarding force for the block M1. Okay, then what is the retardation? So here in case of first block, you see, for M1, okay, initial velocity for m1 is equal to 10 meter per second before it makes collision with block m2. Okay, acceleration. Acceleration means whenever the block m1 travel in upward direction, then frictional force and mg sin theta both acts on the block in backward direction. That's why those two forces acts as the retarding forces. That's why retardation is equal to, in brackets, f1 plus m1z sin theta. Okay, whole by mass m1. So here f1 means minus, we can write f1 means mu into normal reaction m1z cos theta now, because here you see, here weight component mg cos theta acts in this direction, means normal reaction acts on the block in upward direction, that is n1 say. Then here mu into normal reaction m1z cos theta plus mg sin theta, mg sin theta whole by m. Okay, of course cancel. Then you substitute the remaining data. When you substitute the remaining data, then you will get acceleration is equal to, when you substitute the data, then you will get -3 meter per second square you will get. When you substitute the values here, mu means 0.25. Okay, m1 m1 cancel, of course here m1 m1 cancel, g means 10. Sin theta value is given. Sin theta, tan theta values are same. Here sin theta value is nearly equal to tan theta, that is nearly equal to 0.05 is given. 0.05 is given. Okay, so what about cos theta? What about cos theta value? What about cos theta? Here you see tan theta is equal to sin theta by cos theta, no? Cos theta, no? As the sin theta, tan theta values are same, then that implies cos theta is equal to 1, no? Cos theta is equal to 1. Okay, you substitute here. Instead of cos theta, you write 1. Then sin theta is 0.05. When you simplify them, you will get -3 meter per second square. That's why when the first block of mass 2 kg is projected upwards with a velocity 10 meter per second, then it travels with a deceleration. Before it makes collision with the second block, what is the distance traveled? So distance traveled s1 before making collision. Distance traveled before making collision is equal to 6 meter only, no? 6 meter. Okay, then what is the velocity of the block before it reaches the second block? That means final velocity v is equal to, before making collision by the first block with the second block, suppose its velocity becomes say u1, because before collision velocity of the first block is u1 and velocity of the second body u2, no? Here already we know before collision second block is at rest. Here before collision second block is at rest, that's why u2 is equal to 0 here. u2 is equal to 0. So what is the velocity of the first block before making collision? So what is the relation among them? U is known, u is equal to 10, a is -3 we got, s1 is equal to 6, then v is equal to question mark. From v square minus u square is equal to 2as. Okay, from this v square means u1 square we had to find, minus u square means 10 square. U is given as 10, no? 2 into a means -3 into s means 6. S means 6. Therefore, from this, if you find u1, when you find u1 value, then you will get 8 meter per second. When you simplify them, you will get 8 meter per second. So this is the velocity of this block before it reaches the second block, just before making collision with the second block. Okay, then whenever this block makes collision with the second block, then immediately second block starts motion with a velocity say u2. Then this second block, after travel a distance equal to 0.5 meter, its velocity becomes 0. That is given in the problem. Okay, that's why in case of, you see, in case of second block, for second block, here is, suppose this is a second block, it is the second block. Okay, so here initially whenever the first block makes collision with second block, then the second block initial velocity of the second block is 0 only. This is the second block. Okay, this is the second block of mass capital M, that is equal to question mark, we had find. So before making collision, velocity velocity of the second block u2 is equal to 0. But when first block makes collision with second block, then it starts motion with a velocity say v2, with a velocity v2. Okay, we had find that velocity, we had find that velocity. Okay, so here whenever the first block makes collision with the second block, then it travel with a velocity v2, and after it travels certain distance, after it travels some certain distance, its velocity becomes 0. That means final velocity of the second block becomes 0 after it has traveled a distance equal to 0.5 meter. That is given in the problem. So with what velocity after collision it starts motion, that we had to find. That's why here initial velocity of the second block is 0, final velocity after collision its velocity is equal to 0, its velocity is v2, and whenever it reaches the point here, its velocity becomes 0 after travel a distance, this one. What are the here after collision, whenever the block starts their motion with a velocity v2 after collision, before collision velocity of the block m2 is 0, after collision velocity is v2, and with this velocity when the block 2 starts their motion, then after travel a distance equal to 0.5 meter, it comes to rest. Okay, that's here whenever the block travel in upward direction, what are the forces acts when the block travel in upward direction? Their weight component, of course here actually weight acts vertically downwards direction, here weight m to z acts downwards direction. Okay, then when you resolve this weight into two components, one component in this direction, okay, and another component is in this direction. If the angle of inclination is already theta, no, that theta is not given. So if angle of inclination is theta, then this angle is also equal to theta. Already we know, number of times we discussed this one. Okay, then the weight component in this direction is m2z cos theta, and this weight component is m2z sin theta. And whenever the block move upward direction, friction acts in opposite direction. That means F2 also acts in this direction. Here, as the coefficient of friction between the two is same, coefficient of friction between the two is same, then what about the acceleration of the body? What about the acceleration of the body here? So we have to now, you see, so in case of second block, in case of second block, the velocity whenever it starts motion in upward direction along the inclined plane, that is equal to say u for m2, for m2, for m2 you see initial velocity is equal to v2, that we doesn't know, final velocity is equal to 0. Okay, acceleration is equal to, here m2z sin theta and frictional force F2 both acts in downwards direction, whereas the block starts motion upward direction after collision. That's why travel with the deceleration. No? The deceleration means minus F2 plus m2g sin theta whole by m2. When you simplify them, F2 means we can write mu m2z cos theta, we can write, no. Here normal action is in this direction, no. So here normal action is in this direction, n2. Okay, that's why F plus here F2 plus m2z sin theta whole by m2, that is equal to minus g of sin theta plus mu cos theta you will get. That means in case of first block, whatever the formula we got here also we will get same, no, because mu is same. That's why if you simplify them, in first case we got minus 3. That's why here also you will get minus 3 meter per second square only. Okay, so with this acceleration, whenever it travel a distance equal to 0.5, that means distance travel is equal to 0.5 meter, velocity becomes 0. So what is the v2 value we had to find? So after collision, whatever the v2 we had to find. Okay, you see, so here from v square minus u square is equal to 2as, 2as. Now you substitute the data. V means 0 minus u square means v2 square is equal to 2 into minus 3 into s2 is equal to minus 3 into st is equal to 0.5. So when you simplify them, then you will get v2 is equal to root 3 meter per second. No? You will get, after simplification, you will get root 3 meter per second. So velocity of the second body just after collision by the first body is equal to v2, which is equal to root 3 meter per second. Okay, next, here you see, after after collision, what is the velocity of the first body? In case of first body, that means for m1, in order to find m1, you apply the because of collision, they obeys the law of conservation of linear momentum. No? Just before collision, we can apply the law of conservation of linear momentum. So according to that, m1 u1 plus m2 u2 is equal to m1 v1 plus m2 into v2. So m1 means we can write 2Ks, u1 means 0. u1 is equal to 10. No? So u1 is equal to 10 plus m2 into initial velocity of the block is 0 before collision. That's why m0 is equal to m1 means 2 into v1 we had to find v1 plus m2 into m2 means that is equal to capital M into v2 means root 3. No, we got v2 is equal to root 3. Therefore 20 is equal to 2v1 plus root 3 into capital M. This is equation say 1. Equation 1. Okay, now after this, okay, you see here for finding v1 we are given one information. So after collision the block comes down and after passing through the same initial point, that means in case of course this diagram is there already. Okay, you see here, just I will bring this diagram again. So after first black makes collision, here in the problem it is given that after first black, actually initially first black is here. Initially first black is here. Initially first black is here. Okay, whenever it makes with the second collision with the second black, then the block comes to this one through a distance. What is the distance traveled by the first black before it makes collision with the second black? Means that is equal to s is equal to 6 meter. S1 is equal to 6 meter. And after that it comes down, and while passing through the same point, here its velocity becomes v is equal to 1 meter per second is given. That means after collision, definitely whenever the block starts moving downwards, that means in this direction velocity v1 is there. Velocity v1 is there in this direction. Okay, so whenever it passing through the same point here, the velocity becomes 1 meter per second. It is given in the problem. Its velocity becomes 1 meter per second. So that's why in case of first block again, because we had find v1, if we know v1, then we can find m value. That's why for m1 again, okay, you see initial velocity is equal to v1, because after collision it rebounds back, then only it comes down here. So v1, okay, that is equal to, we have to find, and final velocity is equal to 1 meter per second. Acceleration is equal to, while the block is coming down here, the weight component mg sin theta acts in downwards direction. That means in this direction, mg sin theta acts, mg means m1 sin theta acts, and friction acts in opposite direction. So in this case, net acceleration means m1g sin theta minus f1 whole by m1. F1 means m1g cos theta, we can write. That's why if you simplify them, then you will get g of cos theta minus sin theta, we can write now. G of cos theta, g of sin theta minus mu cos theta, we can write. Sin theta minus mu cos theta, we can write. So this is equal to, g means 10, sin theta means 0.05 minus mu means 0.25 into cos theta means already we got 1. Previously we substituted. No? That is equal to, here it becomes a is equal to 10 into minus, here you see, minus 2 you will get, because minus 2, 0.25 minus 0.5 means minus 0.2 into 10. That means minus 2. So that's why the first block after collision comes down with a deceleration, this one, and after reaching the, after travel a distance equal to s is equal to s1, which is equal to 6 meter, its velocity becomes 1 meter per second. Okay, now what about v1? So again, you use the relation among them. So when you use the relation among them, then v square minus u square is equal to 2as. Okay, v square means 1 square, u square means v1 square is equal to 2, a means minus 2, s means 6. Okay, therefore v1 square is equal to, you see, 2 2s are 4, 64 minus, minus 24. Minus 24, when I'm bringing to the left, 25 plus 25 you will get. So 25. Therefore, v1 is equal to, we can write 5 meter per second. No? So after collision, first block rebounds with a velocity. Of course, actually, while it is moving in this in upward direction, but after collision, its velocity is in downward direction. Means while substituting this value in law of conservation of linear momentum, we had substitute minus this one. Okay, therefore from 1, here in this formula we have taken v1 and v1, that is in this direction only, and we substituted. But here after collision it rebounds back. No, it travel in downward direction. That's why while substituting the v1 value in this formula, we had substituted minus. That's why from 1, 20 is equal to 2 into v1 means minus 5 plus root 3 into m. Therefore from this 5 2s are 10, so 30. 5 2s are 10, no? Minus 10. When you write here, it becomes, no, here. Okay, you see, in this formula, in equation 1, u1 is equal to, what is the velocity? u1 is equal to 10 meter per second. Okay. Okay, here u1 means before making collision, the first body acquires the velocity equal to 8 meter per second. We got, no? You see, we got 8 meter per second here. You see, okay, that's why you substitute that one. So before collision, here the velocity with which it makes collision means it is 8. So we had substitute 8 here. So 8 you substitute. So here 8 meter per second we had substitute 8. 8 means you will get 16. No? So here it becomes 16, not 20. 16 you will get. Okay. 16. Therefore here you substitute 16 is equal to 2 into minus 5 plus root 3m. Therefore root 3m is equal to 26, implies m is equal to 26 by root root 3, or m is equal to 26 by root 3 means 1.732 we can write. If you simplify them, approximately you will get 15 Ks. 15 Ks nearly, or approximately. So this is the answer. Okay. So in this way you have to do. So in this way you have to do. Okay. Next problem you see, a particle A moves with speed 10 meter per second in a frictionless circular fixed horizontal pipe of radius 5 meter and strikes with B of double mass that of A. Coefficient of friction is 1/2 and each particle A starts its journey at t is equal to 0. The time at which second collision occurs is. Okay, here you see, initially the first sphere, here it is the horizontal circular tube. That means it is kept on the horizontal surface, plane horizontal surface, and the inner walls of the tube are frictionless, in which there are two spheres are kept exactly opposite to each other on diametrical line. Okay, one sphere A is pushed with a velocity 10 meter per second. So here initial velocity of this one v is equal to say 10 meter per second. Here this velocity is equal to 10 meter per second. Okay, this is equal to 10 meter per second. V is equal to 10 meter per second. Okay, here whenever this sphere try to move in this direction, at the same time this inner surface pushes the sphere inwards. The force with the here the normal force exerted by inner walls of this tube on the sphere must be towards center. That means at every point the normal force exerted by walls of the tube on the sphere is perpendicular to their velocity, because that velocity is along tangential direction. Hence there is no change in the speed of the particle. No work is done. No, that's why there is no change in the speed of the particle. With the same speed only, the particle reaches the point here B and it makes collision. It makes collision with the same speed 10 meter per second. 10 meter per second. So what is the time taken for this? Time taken by this first particle to travel from A to B along this path, to travel from A to B along this path is equal to T1. Say T1 is equal to distance traveled. This distance is equal to half of the circumference. No, so pi r by speed with which this sphere travels. That means that is equal to 10. Of course V. So here, but r is given here. R is given as radius of the circular tube is given as 5 meter. No, radius of the circular tube is given as 5 meter. So you substitute the data. That is equal to pi into 5 by V means 10. So that is equal to pi by 2. This is the T1 value. So after T1 seconds, it makes collision with the sphere B. So exactly at the point B, you draw a common tangent. The common when you draw the common tangent, perpendicular to common tangent at the point of contact, if you draw perpendicular to this tangent at the through point of contact, to draw a line. That is the line of impact. That is line of impact. LOI, line of impact. So we can apply the line of along the line of impact. We can apply the Newton's law of restitution. Newton's law of restitution. We can apply. Next here, collision takes place. No external force acts on the two blocks. That's why you can apply the law of conservation of linear moment. Law of conservation of linear momentum also. Okay. Of course, here coefficient of restitution is given in this case. Here in this case, coefficient of restitution is equal to E is equal to 1/2 is given. That is equal to relative velocity of separation. That means after collision, relative velocity between the two bodies by initial relative velocity between them. That means relative velocity of approach. Okay, this is equal to V2. This is equal to V2 minus V1. You keep like this only. V1 is the velocity of the first body A after collision. V2 is the velocity of the second body after collision. So V2 minus V1 by A means before collision, the first body makes collision with second body at rest with a velocity U1 is equal to 10 meter per second. No? That's why 10 you write 10 minus before collision velocity of the second sphere is 0. B is 0. Therefore, from this V2 minus V1, V2 minus V1 is equal to 10/2. No, that means 5 meter per second. That means it is the relative velocity of separation. Relative velocity of separation means it is the relative velocity of the two bodies after collision. So as it is the relative velocity of the second one with respect to first, means we can imagine first one be at rest, then second one travel with this relative velocity with respect to first, and to make another collision it has to travel a distance equal to 2 pi r. That's why time taken to make second collision after first collision, after what time the first collision takes place, second collision will occur. That time is say t2. T2 is equal to, so with respect to with this relative velocity, the second body travel along the circular path and it makes collision with the first sphere at this point with this relative velocity. As the relative velocity is considered, the first sphere can be imagined to be at rest here. Then with this relative velocity, B travel along the circumference and again makes collision with this one. Before that, what is the distance travel means 2 pi r, no? So 2 pi r by relative speed, V relative we have to write. That is equal to 2 pi r by relative speed means V2 minus V1. That is equal to 2 pi into r means 5 by V relative means 5. 5 cancel. That is equal to 2 pi seconds. Therefore, total time after A starts their motion from point t is equal to 0. After what time the first sphere starts motion, second collision occurs. That means here after t is equal to 0, whenever the first body starts their motion, it makes first collision after t1 seconds. Then from this to make second collision, time taken to travel by body B with respect to A along the circumference and makes collision after t2 seconds. So from the beginning, after what time second collision occurs means t1 plus t2, no? So t1 plus t2. T1 is equal to here T1. What is the T1 value? Pi by 2. T1 is equal to pi by 2 plus T2 means 2 pi. So when you take LCM, then you will get T is equal to 5 pi by 2, no? 5 pi by 2. So this is the time after which second collision takes place. This is the time after which second collision takes place. It is the time after second collision takes place. Okay. Okay, next you see another problem. This is also important one, because with what velocities two bodies travel are not given, but graphically they represented. Their velocities are represented before collision with what velocities they travel, during collision what about the change in velocities, after collision what about the velocities, everything is given in the graph. So this is one important problem. You see, first you read the problem. There are two blocks A and B placed on a smooth surface. Block A has mass 10 kg and it is moving with a velocity 0.8 meter per second towards stationary block B of unknown mass. Of course, there are here, you see there are two blocks. Here there are two blocks. You see, there are two blocks or two spheres, two blocks. Okay, there are two blocks. You take two blocks here. This is one block. Here another block is also here. This is one block. Another block is also here. This is another block. Of course, the second block is having mass a block A and B are placed on a smooth surface. Block A has mass 10 kg and it is moving with a velocity 0.8 meter per second towards a stationary block B of unknown mass. Okay, here you see mass of this block is known. Mass of this block, first block has mass 10 kg, that is given. Second block has unknown mass that we have to calculate, because in the option D, MB is equal to MA, that is given now. Okay, initially before collision, you see at t is equal to 0. At t is equal to 0, you see here, because in the graph velocity of the two bodies are taken along y-axis and time is taken along x-axis. Okay, so here at t is equal to 0, velocity of the first body is u1. So here velocity of the first body means u1. No? U1 is equal to 0.8 meter per second. 0.8 meter per second. Okay, but up to 1 second, the first body travel with the velocity 0.8 only, and the second body has no velocity. But after 1 second, the velocities of the two bodies changes, means definitely after 1 second collision occurs, no? So up to 1 second, the velocity, and that means initially before making collision, the second body is at rest. That's why initial velocity of the second body is 0. That is given. Initial velocity of the second body is equal to 0. That is given. Here it is the smooth surface. This is the smooth surface. That's why no friction is there. Okay, but during collision, you see here, this is the situation before collision. This is the situation before collision. Okay, so here before collision is the situation is like this. Before collision. Okay, before collision velocities are like this. Next, from the graph, what about the velocities of the two bodies after collision? What about the velocities of the two bodies after collision? You see, from the graph only. What about the velocities of the two bodies after collision? You see here, up to 3 seconds, velocities of the first body, second body both changes. But after 3 seconds, the velocity of the first body, second body remains constant, no? That means collision occurs at the instance of time from 1 to 3 seconds. That means this 3 minus 1, that means 2 seconds is the time for which collision takes place, for which the two bodies colliding each other. But after third second, the two bodies travel with constant velocity, no? So final velocity of the first body, v1, is equal to, what is the final velocity of the first body? First body after makes collision with the second body, it move with a constant velocity given by 0.2 meter per second, no? In the graph. That's why v1 is equal to 0.2 meter per second. Okay, next, what about v2? Velocity of the second block after collision. What is the velocity of the second block after collision? If you see the diagram, that is equal to, here 1 is there, no? So this is equal to v2, this is equal to v1. That's why v2 is equal to 1 meter per v2 is equal to 1 meter per second. v2 is equal to 1 meter per second. Okay, so after collision, velocities of the two blocks are known. Before collision, velocities of the two blocks are known. So mass can be calculated. First we can find the mass. Okay, so of course we can okay, to find the mass, you apply the law of conservation of linear momentum, because any type of collision obeys law of conservation of linear momentum, no? So according to law of conservation of linear momentum, okay, m1 u1 plus m2 u2 is equal to m1 v1 plus m2 v2. So you apply the, you substitute the values there. M1 means 10 Ks into V1 0.8 plus M2 into U2 0. That's why you write 0 is equal to M1 10 Ks into V1 means 0.2 plus M2 we have to find into V2 1 meter per second. V2 1 meter per second. So this becomes 8. 8 is equal to 10 into 0.2, that means 2 plus m2, that implies m2 is equal to 6 kg, no? M2 is equal to 6 kg. But in the problem, m2 m1 both are given equal in D. That's why m2 means that is equal to mb. M2 means that is equal to mb. So both here mb is equal to 6 Ks, or well, mass of the second block is 6 Ks. So in this way you have to do, that is 1. So D is not correct. So here D is not correct. This is wrong. Okay, next, what about the impulse of deformation? Impulse of deformation they asked. So here you see, impulse of deformation means at the instant whenever the collision occurs, that means during collision, at the instant whenever collision occurs, you see, during collision, you see, during collision, during collision the two blocks come in contact, no? During collision the two blocks come in contact like this during collision, and of course deformation also takes place. That's why during collision the both blocks travel with common velocity. Both blocks travel with common velocity during collision. Okay, so during collision both blocks travel with common velocity. Due to that, exchange of momenta takes place and deformation takes place. So what is the common velocity? So to find the common velocity, we can use again law of conservation of linear momentum also. So according to law of conservation of linear momentum principle, m1 into m1 means of course first block, a block, m1 into u1 plus m2 into u2 is equal to, during collision they move with common velocity. That's why m1 plus the two blocks can be treated as a single body of mass m1 plus m2 into common velocity v. Okay, therefore you substitute the data. M1 means 10 k's, m1 is 10 k's into u1 is equal to 0.8 plus m2 into u2 0. That's why this becomes 0 is equal to m1 plus m2. m1 means 10 plus m2 means we got 6 k's, no? m2 is equal to 6 k's we got into v. So common velocity is equal to 8. Here it is 8, no? 8 by 16 means 1 by 2. So v is equal to 0.5 meter per second you will get, no? V is equal to 0.5 meter per second you will get. Okay, so 0.5 meter per second. V is equal to, you see 10 into 0.8 means 8. So v is equal to 8 by 16 means 1 by 2. 1 by 2 means 0.5 meter per second. It is the common velocity during collision, during maximum deformation takes place. So during collision or whenever maximum deformation occurs, maximum deformation, during maximum deformation. So at that time, so whenever maximum deformation occurs, then here in the problem they asked impulse of deformation. First one, you see here in first one, impulse of deformation they asked. Impulse of deformation. Impulse of deformation means JD, that is equal to question mark. Impulse of deformation means the impulse received due to deformation by the first body, first block, second block, both are same. So it is easy to find the impulse of deformation for second block. Impulse of deformation of the second block, that is the second block or first block, both are same. So for second block we will see impulse of deformation in case of second block is equal to m2 into during deformation the common velocity with which it travel, that means v minus m2 into u2, general formula. Okay, this is equal to m2 means 6 we got, and common velocity we got, what is the common velocity? 0.5 we got, no? So into 0.5 minus, as u2 is 0, that becomes 0, that is equal to 3, that is equal to 3 Newton second, no? So therefore impulse of deformation JD is equal to 3 Newton second, or we can write kilogram meter per second also, because impulse means change in momentum, no? So we can write kilogram meter per second also. Okay, so this is the impulse of deformation. Impulse of deformation. Okay, this is the impulse of deformation, D, it is D. So here it is impulse of deformation. Okay, impulse of deformation. So but in the given option, you see, if you see the option A, impulse of deformation is given 1.5, so that is not correct. So this option A is also not correct. Next, B, coefficient of restitution they asked. Coefficient of restitution is given as 1. Is it correct or not? We have to check. So B, coefficient of restitution they asked. coefficient of precipitation is equal to V2 minus V1 by U1 minus U2, no? So that is equal to V2. V2 means velocity of the body after collision. Velocity of the second body after collision is 1, we got, no? So 1 minus V2, 1 minus V1 means 0.2 whole by U1 means 0.8 minus U2 is equal to 0, we got. U2 is equal to 0. Okay, so this is equal to 0.8 by 0.8 means 1 you will get, no? So coefficient of precipitation is equal to 1, we got. E is equal to 1, we got. So I think that is correct only, because in the option also it is given like this only. So this answer is correct. So this is correct. You see, B is equal to coefficient of precipitation is equal to 1. So that option is correct, no? That option is correct. That's why this B is correct. Okay, next C, impulse of reformation they asked. Impulse of reformation. So D we had to see. Sorry, C we had to see. Impulse of reformation. C. C. Impulse of reformation we had to see. Impulse of reformation. Impulse of reformation means whenever they are after during collision they comes closer and maximum deformation takes place. After that, whenever they become free, they are separating away. At that time, the change in moment of the each block is called impulse of reformation. So in case of second body on second block only we can take, because impulse of reformation for both same. Impulse of reformation for the second block is equal to M2 V2. Impulse of reformation is equal to M2 V2 minus during deformation moment of the second body, M2 into common velocity V. So this is equal to M2. M2 means mass of the second body we got 6, no, into V2. What is the V2 we got? V2. What is the velocity of the second block after collision? V2 is equal to we got 1, no? You see here V2 we got 1. You see here V2 we got 1. Okay. So this is equal to 1 minus 6 into common velocity we got 0.5. So this is equal to 6 minus 3, that is equal to 3. Therefore impulse of reformation is equal to 3 Newton per second, we can write, no? 3 Newton second or kilogram meter per second we can write. So this is the impulse of reformation. This is the impulse of reformation. Okay. It is the impulse of reformation. Okay. In third option C, impulse of reformation is given this only. That's why third option is correct. So here third option is correct only. Okay. So this third option, this is correct. Next, fourth option, MB is equal to MA. That is wrong only, no? Initially, at the beginning only we have seen mass of the second body we got 6 kg. That's why fourth option is not correct. So this is, in this way we can find impulse of deformation, impulse of reformation. Okay. Next one. Okay. Next problem, all of you see. As shown in figure, there are two blocks of same mass capital M, one on the top of the other, lying on a frictionless horizontal surface. Both the blocks are at rest. The upper block is much smaller than the lower block. That means in size, the upper block size of the upper block is very small compared with the lower block. Of course, upper block can be treated as a point mass. Okay. A force F is applied on the lower block, and both the blocks start moving together without any relative motion between them. Suddenly, the lower block hits a fixed obstacle and comes to rest. The upper block Here, the upper block continues to slide on the lower block. The upper block just managed to reach the opposite end of the lower block. What is the coefficient of friction between the two blocks? Here we see here the lower block is pushed with a force F towards right. The lower block pushed with a force towards F towards right. But whenever the lower block is pulled towards right, the both blocks move together without slipping between them. That means both blocks travel with the same velocity. Okay, that's why relative motion is zero. But whenever the two blocks move together, the two blocks can be treated as a single body of a single body. Here, mass of this block is m. Mass of this block is m. Mass of this block is also given as m only. That means here these are the two blocks. Actually, these are the two blocks. Okay, of masses say m1 and m2. This is m1, this is m2. Of course, both mass are same. That's why here from the diagram, m1 is equal to m2 is equal to capital M given. Capital M given. Whenever the F force is applied, the two blocks move together without relative motion between them. So what is the acceleration? Acceleration of the two blocks A is equal to total force acts on the system by total mass. Total mass means as both blocks are moved together, the total mass moved is equal to m plus m. That means 2m. No? So this is the acceleration. Okay. Before this lower block reaches the obstacle, what is the velocity of the lower block? Whatever the velocity of the lower block, velocity of the upper block is also same. That's why initial velocity of the upper block, initial velocity of the two blocks together is 0. Whenever the force applied on the lower block is this one, the two blocks move with an acceleration A is equal to this one. After travel a distance, that means whenever lower block travel a distance equal to L, immediately it strikes the obstacle. No? So before the lower block strikes the obstacle, the distance traveled is equal to L. Okay, then what is the velocity of the lower block or velocity of the both blocks? Velocity V is equal to question mark. So what is the relation among them? From V square minus U square is equal to 2AS. Okay, V square minus U square is equal to 2AS. V we had to find, minus U means 0, 2 into A means F by 2M, into S means L. So of course 2 cancel here. Then V is equal to root of FL by capital M. We can write now. This is equation 1. That means here whenever the lower block strikes the obstacle, at that time velocity of the lower block becomes this one, means velocity of the upper block is also same. Velocity of the upper block is also same. But here whenever the lower block strikes the obstacle, at that time the position of the lower block is like this. The position of the lower block is like this. Of course, this is the position of the lower block. This is the position of the lower block, and their length is equal to L by 2. Their length is equal to L by 2. Okay, this length is equal to L by 2. L by 2. L by 2. Okay. At the instant whenever the lower block makes collision with obstacle, at that time this block is here only. No, this block is here only. The upper block is here only, but before the lower block makes collision with this obstacle, the lower block is having velocity V is equal to this one. That's why upper block is also having same velocity. That's why at the instant whenever the lower block makes collision with obstacle, at that time the velocity of the upper block is equal to velocity of the upper block. Velocity of the upper block U is equal to, that is equal to this V only. Okay, that is equal to root FL by M. Root FL by M. Here then, whenever the lower block makes collision with the obstacle, then lower block is stopped. But as the upper block is having this much velocity, it slips over the surface of the lower block. It slips over the surface of the lower black. But whenever the upper black travel over the lower black, because of friction, coefficient of friction is given as say mu between lower black and upper black. So because of friction, the velocity of the lower black gradually decreases, and whenever it reaches the other end of the plank means through a distance L by 2, its velocity becomes 0. The velocity of the upper black becomes 0. That is the condition given. Okay, that's why here in case of this upper black, for upper black, initial velocity is equal to, before start sliding, initial velocity is equal to root 2 FL by M. FL by M. Okay. Next, acceleration means, you see, acceleration is equal to, here the friction between these two only, the friction between these two, because whenever this block starts slipping, then friction acts on the upper block in opposite direction. Friction acts in opposite direction. That's why friction acts as the retardation. Friction acts as the retardation. So minus F by mass of the upper block capital M. So this is because it is the retardation of the upper black only. That's why mass of the upper black we had to write. So that is equal to minus F means, as upper black is on the horizontal surface of lower black, then normal action is equal to mg only. That's why minus mu into normal action mg by m. That is equal to minus mu into z. Okay. After travel a distance on the upper plank through a distance equal to its length L by 2, because the upper black comes to rest at the other end of the lower black given. That means it travel a distance equal to L by 2. Okay. The velocity becomes 0 because the block just managed to reach the other end of the lower black. That's all. That's why velocity becomes 0. So what is the relation between these two means? V square minus U square is equal to 2AS. So you substitute. V square means 0 minus U square means FL by capital M, as the U square is there. That is equal to 2 into A means minus mu Z into S means L by 2. L by 2. Here this two cancel. Sorry. Mu is not cancelled here. Mu is there. Mu is not cancelled. Okay, you write mu here only. You write mu z. Okay. So here L cancel. This L and this L cancel. Okay, therefore minus cancel. Then mu is equal to. Therefore mu is equal to F by M into Z, no? F by M into Z. So here this is the coefficient of friction between those two. It is the coefficient of friction between those two blocks. Okay, this is mu. You see the last problem. A block of mass M and a pan of equal mass are connected by a string going over a smooth light pulley. Initially, the system is at rest. Then a particle of mass M falls on the pan and sticks to it. The particle strikes the pan with a speed v. Find the speed with which the system moves just after the collision. Okay, here you see. Here we can do this problem by two methods. First method I will say, because I want to explain this problem to based on the base. Here I am explaining this problem to know how impulse can be applied in these cases. For that only I am telling. Otherwise, this problem is easy. So first simple method I want to say without impulse method. So first method, you see here, whenever the particle here initially pan and this block of mass M both are having same masses, both are joined by means of a string as in the diagram. That's why both stands at the same level and they are at equilibrium only. Okay, at that time there is no motion in the block and pan. At that time, the particle of mass m is made to collide with the pan with a speed v. Whenever the particle makes collision with the pan, immediately the particle pushes the pan downwards. That's why particle along with the pan move downwards with certain velocity. Such common velocity say v. Whenever the pan move downwards with certain velocity, immediately with what velocity pan along with the particle move downwards. Suppose the pan along with the particle move downwards with a velocity say v, common velocity say vc, then at the same time this block also move upwards with the same common velocity vc, no, because the block is connected to the pan. After particle makes collision with this one, immediately after particle makes collision with this pan, with what velocity pan moves down, with the same velocity at that instant the block move upwards. Okay, that's why here before the particle makes collision with the pan, according to law of conservation of linear momentum, initial moment according to law of conservation of linear momentum, okay, for system, initially that particle is only having momentum, okay, that is equal to the pan and block are at rest. But whenever the particle strikes the pan, then pan along with particle move downwards with a velocity say vc, common velocity vc. Then block also move with the same common velocity vc. All are travel along the same path in the same direction along no. These two particles move downwards along the length of this string. This block also move along the length of the string with a speed vc. That's why, because with this vc, as the three pan, block and particle travel at the instant immediately after collision, then the three particle, pan, and block can be treated as a single body of mass m plus m, because all are having same masses, into common velocity vc. Therefore, common velocity vc is equal to you can write u by 3, no, common velocity vc is equal to u by 3. We can write like this. This is one method, simple method, but by impulse method also we can do. So what is the impulse method? That is important method, impulse method. Second method, that is impulse method, impulse of tension concept. Okay, here we see, whenever the particle makes collision, at that time whenever particle makes collision with the pan, at that time the pan exert on the particle. Whenever the particle makes collision with the pan, at that time pan exert the force on the particle in opposite direction. That pan try to prevent the motion of the particle downwards. That's why impulse received by the pan in upward direction. The impulse received by the particle in upward direction. Like this. This is the impulse received by the particle, that is say J1. Impulse received by the particle is say J1, that is in upward direction. Initial momentum of the particle is no doubt downwards direction, that is equal to mu only. But whenever the particle makes collision with the pan, at that time particle along with the pan, the particle pushes the pan downwards, so that the particle and pan move with velocity say common velocity vc. Okay, mass of the particle is m. Mass of the particle is equal to m. Therefore, what is the impulse received? Final moment here, mass of the common velocity of the particle whenever it makes collision with the pan is vc, no. So momentum is equal to m into vc, no. So final momentum is downwards direction, whereas the impulse is in opposite direction. That's why impulse formula you apply. So as the impulse is in negative direction, opposite to the motion, you write minus j1 is equal to, that means impulse received by the particle is equal to change in momentum. Change in momentum means final momentum of the particle minus initial momentum of the particle. Initial momentum is equal to m into v. Final momentum is equal to m into common velocity vc. So from this j1 is equal to mv minus mvc we can write now, mv minus mvc. This is equation 1. It is for particle. Okay, for pan. Now for pan, you see, whenever the particle makes collision with the particle pan, immediately the particle pushes the pan downwards, means the particle exerts the impulse on the pan downwards. Suppose this is a pan, okay, the particle, whatever the impulse produced, impulse applied by the pan on the particle, the same impulse acts on the pan due to particle. That's why impulse due to particle acts on the pan downwards, no? That's why J1 is downwards. And ikkada with what force the particle pushes the pan downwards? Of course, pan also pushes the particle upwards. With the same force, particle pushes the pan downwards. That's why same impulse received by the pan in downwards direction. But whenever the pan comes down because of this impulse J1, at the same time, the sting here, the sting becomes the sting exerts the impulse on the pan in upward direction. That's why impulse acts on the pan due to sting or due to tension. That is a J2. That J2 is upwards. J2 is upwards. The same impulse, whatever the impulse with which the sting pulls the pan upwards, with the same impulse, as the same sting is there, same tension is developed, and with the same impulse, the sting pulls the block M in upward direction. Okay, so here on the pan, impulse due to sting or impulse due to tension J2 that acts upward direction. J2 acts upward direction. Even then, as the pan move downwards with common velocity at that immediately after collision takes place with the particle, then momentum acquired by the particle is m into vc. But initial momentum is 0 because initially particle is 0 at rest. The pan is at rest. That's why initial momentum is 0. Therefore, net impulse received by the pan. Here J2 impulse due to tension acts on the pan in upward direction. Here it is the pan. This is the pan. And J1 impulse received by the pan by the particle is J1 is downwards direction. Even then, as the pan moves downwards, J1 is greater than J2. Therefore, net impulse received by the pan, J1 minus J2, is equal to final momentum of the pan, m into Vc, minus initial momentum, means initially pan and block both are at rest. That's why 0. Okay, therefore J1 minus J2 is equal to mvc. This is equation 3c. So J1 minus J2 is equal to m into Vc. This is equation 2. Next, for block of mass m, the block m, this is the impulse because of tension the sting only, no? That's why the tension, the impulse due to tension acts on the block is upwards, and the block also move upwards only at the instant whenever particle strikes the pan. That's why impulse received by the block due to tension in the sting is equal to final momentum of the block m into Vc minus initial momentum of the block, means 0 because pan and block both are at rest now initially. That's why J2 is equal to m into Vc. It is impulse received by the block. That is equation 3. From 1 and 2, from 1 and 2, from 1 and 2 in 2, sorry, from 1 and 3 in 2, you substitute the J1, J2 values in 2. So from 2 means J1 is equal to how much? mvc minus m into V minus J2 means m into Vc is equal to, from equation 2, that is equal to m into Vc, no? M into Vc. Okay, therefore here you see mvc J1 is equal to how much? Sorry, here here it is, you see J1 means mv minus mvc, no? Here this is not correct. Here you see mv minus mvc. So we have to write like this. mv minus mvc. Okay, therefore mv is equal to, we can write 3 mvc, no, 3 m into vc. That implies vc is equal to, that means immediately after the particle makes collision with the pan, the velocity of the system becomes v by 3. So this is the velocity of the system after collision. Velocity of the system after collision. Okay. So this is the velocity of the system immediately after particle makes collision with the pan. Okay. So these are the some important important approaches. These are some important problems which you have to see. So you go through these problems before you going to write the advanced exam. It develops the different thoughts to us. How, if graphs are given, how we can find the problem. Collision is not mentioned directly, but based on the graphs for of the two blocks, the velocity and time graphs of the two blocks, we can say when collision takes place, after what time collision takes place, when maximum deformation takes place. Whenever maximum deformation takes place, what is the velocity, impulse of deformation, impulse of reformation, like that they may ask. And impulse due to tension in this case, how we can calculate. So whatever the method you approach, whenever your approach is correct, in any method you will get the same answer. So in the last problem also, impulse of tension we apply now. So in this way we can have different, we can get different approach, we can have different approaches. We know the different approaches based on different type of problems. Okay, time permits, I will explain on some more problems also. Okay, have a nice day. Thank you. I'm signing out.